It's me, Mario!
There truly is no game quite like Super Mario 64. This is easily one of the best Mario games of all time. But is it possible to rank the best stars in the game? It's actually a lot harder than you think. This ranking will be based on each star's difficulty, how long they take to complete, and anything else that helps them stand out. And keep in mind that this ranking will only include the intended ways of getting the stars. No universe-breaking exploits allowed. With all that out of the way, let's go! Number 10, to the top of the fortress. Here's an easy star to start the list off with. All it entails is a simple climb up Whomp's fortress. Since you've already had to do this once to fight the Whomp King, this star should not take too long. At the top of the fortress, there's a tower that Mario must climb. Some of the platforms are moving in and out, so you'll have to be careful when to jump. I really like this star because it's fun to see all the different ways you can climb up the fortress. There's a lot of different ways to tackle the star, which makes it very memorable. It's not going to blow anyone away, but for what it is, it's very enjoyable. Number 9. Seek the 8 red coins. I'm sure you didn't expect to see a red coin star on here. Big Boo's Haunt red coins are scattered all throughout the different rooms in the house. Almost all of the coins are hidden in different rooms, so you'll have to explore the whole house to find them all. This star won't take experienced players long, but it might be difficult for beginners. I remember not being able to find several red coins the first time I played this game, and that's because they're all just so well hidden. This isn't the hardest star in the world, but it puts a smile on your face as you nab that star. Oh yeah! Number 8. Ride Big Boo's MerryGoRound. And here's another star from Big Boo's Haunt. This star requires you to go to the basement and into the room with the merry-go-round. Why is there a merry-go-round in the basement, you might ask? I don't know, but it's kinda creepy. All you have to do once you're down there is ground pound the boos that come out of the wall. After that, a large boo spawns, which takes 3 hits to defeat. This star is incredibly easy, but it's by far one of the most memorable stars in the game. The merry-go-round music is also really boppin'. I come back to this star quite often, seeing how unique it is from other stars in the game. Number 7. Coins of Mast in a Maze. Rainbow Ride is far from being one of my favorite levels, and the stars here are known for being incredibly challenging. However, the red coin star here is honestly pretty fun. All of the coins are laid out in a 2D maze-like section. You'll have to pull out all the fancy tricks for this one, including wall jumps, backflips, and lawn jumps. None of the coins are that hard to get here, but I like that this star requires you to use all the moves you've learned up until this point. It's one of the only stars in the game that even does that. This star won't take long, seeing as how the coins are so close together, but regardless, it makes for an interesting experience. Number 6. Foot Race with Koopa the Quick. You can't go wrong with the classics. Anyone who's ever played Mario 64 before has tried this star, and despite being really easy, this one is always a treat to come back to. You'll challenge Koopa to a race, and all you have to do is beat him to the top of the mountain. You're given so much time that losing is almost impossible. You can collect all 8 red coins and still make it back in time. One fun aspect of the star is seeing all the different ways you can complete it. Some ways are quicker than others, but it's fun to challenge yourself and see what works. I remember doing this tons of times when I was a kid. It will always be a memory that I have with this star. Now you may ask why I didn't put the second Koopa the Quick race, since that one is technically harder. I personally feel that it's just way too short, not nearly as iconic as the first one, and because of that, the first one will always have the edge. Number 5. Hot-footed into the volcano. I know, kinda obscure choice, especially this high on the list, but this star is something that I absolutely love about it. The platforming. Just simple running and jumping is always a treat. You've got your more basic jumps, but as you ascend the volcano, the jumps get scarier and scarier. The ending is also pretty tricky, since you have to jump off some poles without being able to aim very well. The only thing I don't like about this star is the giant wall that can crush you if you aren't careful. I always seem to forget that it's there. Aside from that, this star is pretty easy. It's just a fun one in general. Number 4. Make Wiggler Squirm. This is a star that I come back to often. You'll start on the tiny island where you'll have to ground pound the water on top of the mountain. Then the water on the huge island will be drained and you can enter Wiggler's house. After stomping on Wiggler's head 3 times, the star is yours. I honestly feel pretty bad for Wiggler though. He was just chilling in his house, and then Mario flooded the place and jumped on him until he forked over a star. That's kinda cruel. The first time you try this star, it'll take you some time to figure it out, what to do, since the clue doesn't help very much. Make Wiggler squirm, you don't even know where Wiggler is. But regardless, this star is really fun. Number 3. Inside the Ancient Pyramid. Like hot-footed into the volcano, I love this star because of the platforming. Upon entering the pyramid, you'll have to traverse through a long labyrinth in order to get the star. You'll dodge swamps, run across narrow paths, and much more. Everything about this star feels like an obstacle course because of how many things you'll find on your way. Falling down, especially near the top, can suck because it does take some time to get up there, but it's more than manageable. I also like that there are several different paths to take in the beginning. It makes this level feel fresh every time you play it. If you're a fan of platforming, this star will definitely give you a good time. Number 2. Slip Sliding Away. What else is there to say about this star? Obviously the slide stars are some of the best stars in Mario history, but this one takes the cake. It's right near the start of Koopa Mountain, making it really accessible. The layout of the slide is excellent. The sharp turns and large jumps make for a thrilling experience. There's even a shortcut that lets you bypass most of the level. This slide definitely has the most creativity out of all the ones in the game. I chose to put this slide star on the list simply because Peach's secret slide is way too easy, and Tall Tall Mountain slide is really difficult to get to. This slide strikes a good balance between difficulty and accessibility, which makes it the most fun one to come back to. Number 1. Toad in the Basement. This star is really dynamic, guys, because you'll have to talk to a toad in the basement to get your star. Then you'll... Yeah, don't worry, it's just a joke. Now on to the real number 1. Number 1. Big Ba-Bomb on the Summit. I know, it's really cheesy to put the first star of the game as number 1, but you have to admit, this star is really awesome. It was designed to teach players what the game was all about. This was many gamers' first experience playing a 3D game, and I believe that this star does a great job transitioning people to this new playstyle. All you have to do is follow the path to the top of the mountain. You'll stomp on Goombas, run like mad past a train jump, and dodge giant boulders that are falling down the mountain. At the summit, you'll fight King Ba-Bomb, and he's really easy. You just have to run behind him and from him. He's not very fast, so it won't take you very long to defeat him. However, this star is really iconic, and by far one of the best missions that Mario 64 has to offer. Whew, that wasn't easy. It was honestly really difficult to try and find the best Mario 64 stars. The only feasible way of doing this was just playing the game and seeing what I had the most fun with. There were tons of stars that I wanted to put on this list, but, I couldn't because, obviously there's more than 10 stars in the game that are awesome. Anyways, be sure to comment down below what your favorite Mario 64 stars are, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.